are you financially average? Let's find out, and then let's make sure you never are again. By the end of this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to go from average to top 10%, and I'm going to give you the 7 steps to actually do it. Let's start with the number nobody wants to say out loud. The average net worth for someone in their early 30s in this country is basically nothing. A lot of people are sitting at zero, some are in the negative, and the ones who think they're doing fine are usually a couple $1,000s in savings away from a real emergency. That's average, and if you're watching this video, I already know you don't want to be average, right? So stick with me. I've been where you are. When I started out, I had about $4,000 to my name and a car that I was praying would make it through winter. I got that number to $50,000 in savings and investments within a few years, grinding a normal job and a side hustle at the same time. Then I pushed that to $250,000, and now I'm sitting comfortably past 7 figures in net worth. I'm not telling you that to brag, okay? I'm telling you that because every single one of those jumps used the exact same playbook I'm about to hand you for free right now in this video. So let's talk about the actual number we're aiming for today. $100,000 in net worth by the time you're 30. That's the milestone. And I want to be straight with you. 100 grand is not rich. It's not a yacht. It's not retirement. It's not quit your job money. Let's deflate this right away so nobody thinks I'm selling you a fantasy. What $100,000 actually buys you is options. It buys you the ability to say no to a bad job. It buys you 6 months of runway if you get laid off. It buys you the down payment on a house or the seed capital for a real business instead of a business funded entirely on a credit card and a prayer. That's what this number is for. It's leverage. It's breathing room. It's the difference between making decisions out of fear and making decisions out of strength. And here's why doing this earlier matters so much more than doing it later. Every dollar you get to that number faster is a dollar that compounds for longer. $100,000 sitting in the market at 25 has 40 years to grow. $100,000 you finally scrape together at 45 only has 20. Same number, half the runway, half the outcome down the road. That's just math, that's not motivation, that's just how compounding works. Now here's the part where I take the pressure off, because I don't want you sitting there stressed out instead of taking action. I don't care if you're at $0 right now. I don't care if you're at negative $8,000 because of credit card debt. I don't care if you're $30,000 into this already and just need to close the gap. This playbook works from wherever you're starting. There's no shame in being average today. The only shame is still being average 5 years from now because you didn't do anything about it. Before we get into the steps, I want you to do something for me. Drop your current net worth in the comments right now. Doesn't matter if it's negative 20,000 or positive 20,000. There's no right answer and there's no wrong answer here. I just want you to be honest with yourself because you cannot fix a number you're not willing to look at. So type it out, be honest, and let's get into it. Okay, 7 steps. No fluff, no filler, just what actually works. Step 1. Know your real number. Every single month. Most people who think they're doing okay financially have never actually calculated their net worth. They're guessing. You need one spreadsheet updated once a month that lists every asset you have and subtracts every dollar you owe. That's it. I did this on a free Google Sheet starting at $4,000 and I still update the exact same sheet today at 7 figures. The reason this step matters isn't the math, it's the accountability. You cannot hit $100,000 if you don't know whether you're at $30,000 or $50,000 right now. This step costs you 20 minutes a month, forever, and it changes everything downstream. Step 2. Fix your burn rate before you touch your income. This is the step everybody wants to skip, and it's the one that actually determines whether the rest of this works. You need to know your monthly spending down to the dollar, and for most people in their 20s and early 30s trying to hit this number, that means running your life on somewhere between $2,000 and $4,000 a month, depending on your city. That means the $3,000 rent apartment becomes a $1,400 one with a roommate. That means the car note disappears and gets replaced with something like a $3,000 Honda Civic you own outright. I drove a car with a cracked windshield for 2 years while I was building my first $50,000, and I'm not ashamed of that, I'm proud of it. This is temporary, by the way. This isn't how you live forever. This is 12 to 18 months of lean living to build your base. That's it. Step 3. Build a real emergency fund before you invest a single dollar aggressively. 3 to 6 months of that lean burn rate sitting in a high yield savings account, untouched. Here's the why. Without this, one car repair or one medical bill puts the entire plan on a credit card at 24% interest. And you're starting over from further behind than where you began. This isn't glamorous, nobody makes exciting videos about emergency funds, but I promise you, the people who skip this step are the same people who end up back at 18 months later. Step 4. Pick one skill that actually increases your income and go all in on it. This is where people get it wrong constantly, so let me be blunt. Don't go start day trading. Over 90% of day traders lose money over any extended period. That's not an opinion. That's just how the math of that game works against you. Don't start a content creation business as your first move either, because the average new channel makes basically nothing for the first year or two, and you'll burn your savings waiting on a lottery ticket. What actually works is picking a boring, high-income skill, sales, a trade, coding, a specialized certification in your existing field, and getting aggressively good at it over 12 to 18 months. When I picked up sales as my skill, it took my income from about $45,000 a year to over $90,000 in under 2 years. That's not luck, that's a skill compounding, and skills compound way more reliably than trades do. Now look, for some of you, this is exactly where you need actual structured help, instead of guessing on your own. And that's fair. I run a small coaching program where I work with people directly on picking the right skill or side path for their specific situation and actually building it out with them. It's not for everybody, and I'm not going to pretend it is, but if you want that kind of direct guidance, there's a link below to apply, and if it's a good fit, we'll hop on a call and figure out if it makes sense for you. If not, no worries, everything you need is in this video anyway. Let's keep going. Step 5. Spend your money in the right order. Once you start making more, most people's instinct is to upgrade their apartment or their car immediately. Don't. The order that actually builds wealth is this: emergency fund first, then retirement accounts up to any employer match because that's free money. Then your other investments, and only after all of that do you let yourself upgrade your lifestyle, and even then, only partially. If you get a $5,000 raise, bank $4,000 of it and let yourself enjoy $1,000. That's the ratio that actually moves the number. Step 6. Automate before you can talk yourself out of it. Every single month, on the day you get paid, money should move automatically into savings and investments before you ever see it in your checking account. I set this up when I had almost nothing to automate, moving just $50 a paycheck at first, and the amount matters way less than the habit. Willpower runs out by the 15th of every month. Automation doesn't. And step 7, this is the hardest one, and I want to say that plainly, because it's the step that actually determines whether you keep this money or lose it right back. The hardest step is not inflating your lifestyle once the money starts showing up. I have watched so many people build their way to $50, $80, $100,000, and then, the second it happens, go lease a car they can't afford or move into an apartment that eats half their paycheck because suddenly they feel rich. And within a year they're back to zero, sometimes worse than zero. When I crossed $100,000 myself, I was still driving that same cracked windshield Civic for another full year, still living in the same modest apartment, because I understood that the number on the spreadsheet only means something if you protect it. The people who actually make it to real wealth are boring on purpose for way longer than feels comfortable. That's the whole secret, honestly. So, let's recap all 7. Quick and clean. Know your real number every month. Fix your burn rate. Build your emergency fund. Pick one skill and go all in. Spend your money in the right order. Automate the process. And don't inflate your lifestyle. That's the hardest one, and it's the one that protects everything else you built. Now let's zoom out for a second, because I want you to see why this specific number is worth all of this. $100,000 invested and left alone, averaging historical market returns. roughly doubles every 7 to 10 years without you adding another dollar to it. That means the version of you who hits this milestone at 28 or 30 isn't just $100,000 ahead. By retirement age, that head start alone can be worth well over $1 million, completely separate from anything else you save after that point. That's the entire game. You're not just building a number, you're buying time for that number to work without you. One more thing before you go, because I see this constantly in the comments on videos like this. Somebody's always going to tell you the real way to get rich is crypto, or some private deal, or a system somebody's selling in a Telegram group. Ignore it. I'm not saying speculative bets never work out for anybody. I'm saying they don't work reliably, and reliable is what actually builds a life. The boring playbook beats the exciting shortcut basically every single time over a long enough timeline. Look, I'm not going to pretend this is easy. Fixing your burn rate is uncomfortable. Staying boring while your friends upgrade their lifestyle is uncomfortable. But I've done it, and I've watched other regular people do it, and it works. I want to see you win at this. Take the steps, stay patient with yourself, and we'll see you in the next one.